cart before the horse.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Brent Thomas with Garver. I am here as the agent for the applicant, Exploration Place. Address is 1995 Midfield Road. Vacation case is part of work being done at Exploration Place, referred to as the EP2 initiative. Phase 1 is the current amphitheater, which is under construction and will be completed here in the next month. Phase 2 is the destination playscape, which is being built east of the building near the corner of McLean and First Street. As stated, Exploration Place requested a vacation of a portion of the easement to allow construction of a retaining wall, which will be part of construction of a main sidewalk, which will run through the playscape. The retaining wall would have been allowed had we not added a shade structure to the top of that to provide shade for patrons, so that triggered the need for a vacation case. But as stated, we will be providing updated plans because the setback vacation became the limiting factor. That is outside of the easement. The proposed improvements will be outside of the easement as well as outside of the setback as well. We do accept staff comments as presented.
Is there any questions from the commission of the applicant? Not, thank you.
Thank you.
And now, sir, from the public, you'll have 3 minutes. Give us your name and address.
Hello, my name is Vincent Hancock. I'm the president of the Delano Neighborhood Association. I live at 406 South Vine in Delano. This case was originally published on August 1st. As of today, I have not received notice by mail. There could be Postal Service issues that are interfering with the timely delivery of mailed notices, and I want staff to pay attention to that because it could be an issue. Earlier this month, a U.S. representative for the state of Kansas urged primary voters not to mail in their ballots because he had heard about delays in mail. And if your ballot arrives more than 3 days after the election, your vote doesn't count. That's a significant issue. However, the fact that it's a 3-week delay, that leads me to believe it's not the Postal Service. I don't think it got set out. If that were true, that would be a due process violation of the 14th Amendment. I think we need to make sure that we fix these notices before this gets to a more important case for our neighborhood. Also, for staff, I want to repeat my previous requests that we routinely publish the staff case reports to the MABD website. I think that would just be a wonderful way to increase transparency and communication with the public. Now, moving on to the specifics of this case, the Delano Neighborhood Association did meet earlier this week, and wholeheartedly, after explaining what was being done with the case, they did request, they supported the current setback request for the vacation because we all agree having a playground next to a street, everybody wants a fence to keep the kids from accidentally playing in traffic like our mothers told us not to do. The DNA would also like the city, since the city technically owns the property, would like them to add a 20-foot setback on the riverbank to protect the multi-use path that is used by many people in this town from encroachment. Right now, according to the plat maps, the city of Wichita owns not only up to the riverbank, they own part of the river. I don't think Army Corps of Engineers would appreciate that. And also, we've expressed this to the applicant with the new construction restricting public access to Exploration Place's outdoor areas. We would like them to consider expanding the sidewalk on the southwest side of their property so that people would be able to walk all the way along McLean without being forced to walk in the middle of traffic. Appreciate your time. Do you have any questions?
I have a question for staff regarding notification. Would the associations, would they be entitled to receive notifications, or strictly residential property owners?
So notification to neighborhood associations and HOAs is typically a courtesy notification we do for zoning items. Zoning items have a minimum of a 200-foot radius, if not larger. With vacation items, the extent of notification differs based on the type of vacation that's happening, and sometimes it's one or two property owners, sometimes it's only the one neighbor. It just depends on the type of vacation case, and so we typically don't notify neighborhood associations with vacation cases. And again, it is a courtesy notification, is not a legal requirement. So in terms of meeting the legal requirement for notification, there's no issue with this case.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public?
Mr. Chairman, could we maybe
Yes.
get a motion that substantial compliance with notification requirements have been made?
A motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Can you help me with the wording? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking for there.
Apologize. I thought that normally we would make a motion that substantial compliance was met. All we would need is a motion that substantial compliance with notification requirements are met.
And we know that for sure, Hal.
Okay. So we
It
can,
is in the zoning code
we
that
can do that.
we need to confirm on the record that substantial compliance has been made.
Okay. At the
I would make
request
that
of-
motion.
At the request of council, within the current presentation, we're going to request a motion that all substantial compliances have been met. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion by Joe Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Warren. Oh, Mr. Williams, sorry. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Now we'll come back to comments from the public. Is there anyone else present from the public that would like to speak on this case? Seeing none, we will give the agent or applicant 2 minutes, if you wish, rebuttal time on this.
Again, Brent Thomas, agent for the applicant. We have no further comment at this time. Again, I want to keep focus on the vacation case at hand, and as these other items are unrelated to the case before us today. So I would offer
Thank
no
you,
further
sir.
comment. Okay. But thank Mr. Hancock. We did a good visit and do appreciate his concern, and we've let Exploration Place know of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll bring it back to the commission for action.
Motion to approve for staff recommendations and comments.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Aldrich, a second by Ms. Miles. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next item is item 4.1. Here is the staff report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Christina Reith with planning staff, presenting the case CON 2024-00111. The applicant for this case is requesting a conditional use to allow an accessory apartment on a property zoned single family. It's located on the north side of East Lewis Street here. As you can see in the zoning map, this is 4316 East Lewis Street. It's currently developed with a 1,900 square foot single family house and it's 18 foot by 16 foot detached garage. They were both constructed around 1928. The applicant is requesting the conditional use in order to construct a detached dwelling unit for an aging family member. So if we could go to the site plan, please, so I could talk about what they're proposing. The applicant intends to demolish the existing garage, which is a little bit over the existing easement that's there in the back, and construct a new accessory structure on site that will feature a 20 by 28 foot living space and an 18 by 18 foot detached garage. The new structure will meet all of the setback requirements. And section A4 of the zoning code requires 1 parking space per accessory apartment in addition to 1 space for the single family residence. So the new structure and the existing driveway, staff feels that will be that will accommodate the necessary parking for both uses on site. Accessory apartments are subject to the supplementary use regulations of the zoning code, which are listed in your staff report. I actually did have a conversation with the applicant, earlier this week about the new garage that's being built, and it is within their intention to have something built that is compatible with the existing structure. The character of the neighborhood is low density residential. We've got some properties to the north and west, zone single family. and developed with single-family dwellings. And then properties to the east and south are zoned two-family and developed with duplexes. There are no zoning cases associated with this property. The proposed use is in conformance with the Community Investments Plan. The future growth concept map that is a part of this plan identifies a site as appropriate for residential uses. So an accessory apartment fits within that category. And then when we look at the Wichita Places for People plan, there's a lot of strategies. There's a couple, or I should say 6 strategies that are mentioned in the Places for People plan report. Strategy 5 talks about providing a diversity of housing options to attract new residents and allow existing residents to remain in the established central area. So this would be small-scale development that would allow, provide housing options that might otherwise not be immediately available in the area. And as part of the supplementary use regulation, that the new structure should be compatible with the existing principal structure on site. I think it's a great way to continue the character of the neighborhood. The requested zoning also aligns with Strategy 6, encourage infill and redevelopment that is contextual to the environment in which it's occurring. So when you look at the zoning map, I mentioned that there's some duplexes in the area, so we're seeing some, single family, 2-family, so that is in character with the Places for People plan. Based on the information available at the time the report was prepared, staff recommends that the conditional use be approved, subject to the conditions that are listed in your staff report. This recommendation is based on the golden rules, which we use to apply to every zoning case. I have not received any additional comment beyond what is provided in your staff report today. So let's take a look at some of the site photos. This is looking north towards the site. Next slide, please. This is also looking north. We can see how they have a shared driveway, and then we have the duplex immediately east of the site. Next slide, please. This is looking north towards the existing accessory structure, which will be removed, and a new one will be in its place, meeting all of the setback and easement requirements. Next slide, please. This is looking south towards the site, towards the back of the house. Next slide, please. This is looking south away from the site. I believe some of these are single family, and then there might be a couple. I think the one to the left is a duplex. Next slide, please. And that concludes my site photos, and with that, I will stand for any questions.
Are there any questions from the commission of staff? Not, thank you. We'll call on the agent or applicant now to speak. And please give us your name and address, and you will have 10 minutes.
Hello, my name is Miriam Overholt, and my address is 4316 East Lewis Street here in Wichita. And thank you for considering this proposal. I am the aged family member that was mentioned. My son and his wife live with me in this home since my husband passed away. And it's a wonderful arrangement, but we could use a little more space from each other, which I am guessing you can understand. Also, I have cancer. I'm giving you the whole schmear here. And so being on one floor would be a wonderful help to me to not have to go up and down stairs. And so to be able to age in place in the same home as my, same property as my kids, where I've lived for 28 years, would be a great asset. So appreciate you guys take this seriously, appreciate you listen to people, and I'd like to see this go through. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Are there any questions from the commission of the applicant? If not, thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this case? Please approach the podium and give us your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay. My name is Jack Patton. I live at 337 South Rutan, Wichita, Kansas. I'm also the president of the College Hill Neighborhood Association. And being that the zone request signage was made visible so all the neighbors could see what was going on, no intent to demolish any houses and then later come back and request a parking lot. We believe this will help maintain and preserve the quality of life for the persons involved, and the neighborhood association and myself wholly support and approve of this change. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak on this case?
No, but it's nice to hear someone come and speak in favor.
I agree. I don't know there's any rebuttal required at this point, but since we had a public speaker, if the applicant would like to say any more on a rebuttal, you'll have 2 minutes. The applicant indicates that she will decline that offer. So
I'd
at
move
this
for
point, we'll
approval.
bring it back to the commission for action.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Mr. Joe Johnson, second by Ms. Miles. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you very much. I believe that completes our agenda today.